morning, cosplay fans! Welcome back to my channel. If you are a new viewer, hi, my name is Felicia, aka Darkarnival Butler, master cosplayer and YouTuber. So today's video is gonna be the first episode of my long overdue first Disney World travel vlogs. And when I say long overdue, it is because I actually traveled to Disney World for the very first time in May of 2025, but I didn't have time to write anything about it or to edit any videos about it yet. Better late than never, I guess. So without further ado, let me tell and show you all about my trip of a lifetime to Disney World Orlando. First of all, I'm truly not kidding when I say this was a trip of a lifetime. Visiting Disney World was one of my biggest dreams since I was 5 years old, and I ultimately had to wait 30 years until I could afford to go. My mother wanted to take me on more than one occasion when I was younger, but could never really afford to do so. And when I became an adult, it became more like, okay, if I want to go, I'm gonna have to save and try to afford it by myself. Overall, I would say it took me maybe about 10 years to save up enough money to even consider traveling and enjoying Disney World for the amount of time that I was planning to, which was 10 days. I had a goal amount of money that I wanted to save up, and when I finally reached that amount, I started slowly but surely planning the whole thing. I worked with a travel agency which specializes in Disney trips, and I watched a ton, I mean a ton of videos about Disney World on YouTube, so I could be extra prepared for my trip. I did my Disney World bachelor degree, if you will. I learned everything I had to know about all the different parks, all the different rides, both the old ones and the new ones, all the different rules, the transportations, the dining plan, which really got me hyped up, and everything else. I could not be more prepared, and I'm so glad to say that all this preparation really paid off. My trip pretty much went flawlessly from beginning to end. And if sometimes it didn't go as planned, it was purely because of situation that was totally out of my control, or anybody's control, I would say. And honestly, to me, most of the time, it was not a big deal. Day one was, of course, traveling day. I traveled early by plane from Quebec to Toronto, and then from Toronto to Orlando, Florida. I had already been to Orlando's airport during my trip to Holiday Matsuri the previous year, but I was still in awe about the size and beauty of the airport. It is so big, you have to take a train to go from one area to the other. And of course, sneak peeks of what was to come popped up all around, with a Disney merch store, Universal Studio store, and then the upcoming Epic Universe merch store. Spoiler alert, yes, I had managed to get a preview ticket for Epic Universe last year, and yes, I will definitely share with you my experience in my vlog series. After getting my luggage back, I made my way to the ground transportation level, and I looked for the Mears shuttle service area. Mears is a shuttle buses service which you can pay for and which transport all the Disney World's guests from the airport to all the different resorts and hotels, both inside and outside of the Disney bubble. Each line were associated to a list of resorts to which all the buses were traveling to, so you had to be really careful not to pick the wrong one. Fortunately, the staff was very helpful and managed the crowd pretty well. Unfortunately, it was very crowded that morning, with a lot of big groups traveling together, and buses got delayed, so we ended up waiting at least 2 hours in line until we could finally board a bus and leave the airport. I was so glad I traveled early that day because I would have been so disappointed to miss the first day of the trip. We made a few stops along the way to get some more guests, and in the meantime, they were displaying some fun Disney animated short films on the bus TVs. One of the stops we made was at the Gaylord Palm Resort, outside of the Disney bubble, a gorgeous and way more pricey hotel. Overall, the ride from the airport to my resort took about 20 to 25 minutes. For my trip, I decided to reside at the Art of Animation Resort. I love the look of that hotel with all the visual homage to 2D and 3D animations. The lobby alone was so colorful and bright, and songs from Disney classics were playing all the time. The souvenir store of the resort, the Ink and Paint Shop, was located at the end of the lobby, next to the cafeteria. Of course, I looked around a bit and even went to see the Finding Nemo pool area. This moment literally felt like a dream. Finally, I was there. This was happening for real! My room was supposed to be available only later in the afternoon, so I grabbed my pool bag and I got ready to head to Typhoon Lagoon, one of the Disney World's water parks. Basically, the reservation included a one-day ticket to Typhoon Lagoon, valid on the day of my arrival, which I thought was great because I could experience more of Disney without the fear of paying for only half a day. So I left my suitcase at the luggage storage, grabbed my special Disney mug at the gift shop, and took the bus to Typhoon Lagoon for the afternoon. With the My Disney app, I could easily know at what time each bus was supposed to pass by and leave for each location. And this way, I knew I had to take one bus from Art of Animation to Disney Spring, and then another bus all the way to the water park. The highlight of the park is definitely the huge wave pool, which blasts a monster wave every 2 minutes or so. You definitely have to be a good swimmer to get through those. I'm a good swimmer, and even I went flying away at some point. There was also this peaceful river going around the entire park, for those who just want to float around and relax. And of course, a few gift shops with beach and pool party team merch and other souvenirs. Very adorable. There was also some slides you could go on, but several of them were made for groups of 3 people or more, and I was on my own, so... One time I managed to get in one of the water rides with 2 other ladies, but besides that I wasn't able to ride at all. So yeah, perhaps Typhoon Lagoon is more enjoyable for a small or big groups, not so much on your own. I enjoyed my afternoon in Typhoon Lagoon in general, however, I don't think I would pay to go back again. Don't get me wrong, the place is absolutely beautiful and I always like a good day at the pool or at the water park. However, there's not enough to see or to do there to keep me occupied an entire day. But overall, nothing against it, and since it was very hot on that day, it was very welcome and refreshing. While I was there, I received a notification on my Disney app telling me that my room was finally ready. So I took the bus back to my resort and went to discover my room in the Little Mermaid section of the resort, more specifically in the Ursula building. From my room, I could see the Skyliner, which was accessible from the resort and which, along with the buses, would be very helpful to move around between each park. There was 2 beds in my room, which I thought was weird since I was alone, but I kinda like to use an extra bed to lay out all the stuffs I need for each day, so I didn't complain for too long. When I was thinking about my potential hotel room at Disney, this is pretty much what I had in mind. A Disney-themed room with colorful decor, Disney characters all around, pretty much like if I was a kid again. I was definitely served with this Little Mermaid room. This was going to be my home for the next few days, and I couldn't be happier. Only thing left to do right now is to unpack my stuff, put them all in the drawers, and eat eat something. I brought something for my dinner because I did not want to spend money on the first night. It's only the first night, so I was like, why not bring something to eat for a little improvised dinner? I'm not gonna go out tonight because I have to go to bed early because tomorrow is gonna be the first big day. Magic Kingdom, first time in Magic Kingdom, first time in the whole Disney bubble. So after unpacking and having a little improvised ramen dinner in my room, I took a good shower and got ready for bed. The next day was going to be one of the most special days of my life. So I'm getting ready to go to bed, but I wanted to take a moment to show you all my mini ears for the whole duration of this trip. I have those two that I purchased online at a smaller fee because since the official ears are pricey, I would be way too scared to lose them. So that's why I bought cheaper options. If I ever lose one of those, it's gonna be less sad for me than if I lose one of those two. And I wanted to make sure that I had some more simple mini ears, like more the classic one with the bow and everything. So I bought those two online for about $5 each, maybe. And those two are official ones. This one was a gift from one of my aunt, and those I purchased when I went to Disney Spring during my trip for Holiday Matsuri. So pretty, and I love churros so much, and those are pretty realistic looking, so I really had to buy them. Thank you so much for watching this first video of my first ever Disney trip. Which part of Disney World are you the most looking forward to hear me talk about in this series? Please let me know in the comment section below. I hope to see you again for the next video, which will be my first time discovering Magic Kingdom. Until next time, dream, believe, and keep on cosplaying.